Okay, so today's message is called. It's called what it's called. Is what it's called. No, well, I'll go ahead and leave the name of the poem or whatever it says. But written by Mia Linen. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay. So, in the walk of faith, there is a sound that is impossible to ever get used to. It often comes abruptly. It always happens surprisingly. It's inaudible but very powerful. Most of us can name a specific time or place and times in our lives when we've heard that sound. I'm referring to the sound that occurs when God closes the door. I think the thing that makes it so difficult is that we usually misinterpret that sound. It often comes on the heels of a strong commitment, obedience, being filled with the Spirit, going through a season of prayer, often weeks, followed by hard work, effort, and even counsel of others. And then boom, slam, the door shuts. And to make it even more difficult, what follows that door being shut, that there's like a silence. There's a deafening silence, a God silence. And so we're left wondering, thinking, or saying, where are you? Where are you, you know? And it's times like this that we are humbly reminded that He is the potter and we're just the clay. He's the master and we're the servants. You know, we're willing to say that we will bow before Him and, you know, that He is our God and He is our guide. We're just a pilgrim in a barren land, you know, and moving toward the goal and honoring and serving you, and now this. To make it even more difficult, that God doesn't tell us why. Certainly not then. Well, God rarely tells us why. One thing that is for sure is that when a door closes, when a door closes, let me get this thing out the way. I'm on my nerves with this thing. Hold on 1 second. Clear notifications. Take that off. Clear. Anyway, when a door closes, we don't think at that moment that because of that door being closed, it's going to lead to something better, you know. I read something recently from the Scottish writer. He says, when the oak tree has felled, the whole forest echoes in it, but 100 acorns are planted silently by an unnoticed breeze. And I took to that because this damn thing. I took to that because what I got from that, what I just said, was oh my God, my computer's freaking out right now. Is that when the door slams in our face, when the door slams in our face, we don't think poetically at the time. All we can hear is the falling of our oaks, and just like a big boom, big slam, you know, and it hits the forest. It destroys our dreams, our hopes, our anticipation, you know, for anything. We're not thinking at that time. You know, we're not thinking that at this moment that there's some acres being whisked away and blown to a place and that will grow and bear fruit for God's glory through this open door. And at a time like this, when a door closes, some of us have had actually a door closed recently. That's when I think great theology needs to actually kick in and you know, and have true great truths come to our rescue. Let me see here. So, anyways, so one of the great truths is God is sovereign. Praise God, God is sovereign. Daniel 4:35 it says all the inhabitants of the earth are as nothing, and he does accordingly to His will in the army of the heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. No one can ward off His hand or say to Him, "What are you doing?" The psalmist puts it this way in Psalms 1:15-3. It says, "Our God is in the heavens; He does whatever He pleases." Now that's, to me being direct. That's kind of like one of those, like, I'm in charge in your face type things. Another great truth is that God's plan is profound and it often seems strange. Revelation 3:7 tells us that He is the one who opens and no one closes, and closes that no one opens. And there's no explanation following that statement. It's just what it is. Sometimes we feel we feel like failures. Maybe our timing was bad. Maybe we weren't sensitive enough to the Holy Spirit. And none of this is true. God closed the door. But we're not ready to understand closed doors because we like open doors, especially when we're not told why they were closed. But we have to remember that God's sovereign, and God's plan is profound, and often it is strange. We need to get past these closed doors because there's something great to be reaped through these open ones. Since God is sovereign and has full control on both sides of the door, being in full control, God takes full responsibility of the results. The closing of a good opportunity occurs in order to lead us to an even better one. Not until you walk through an open door and look back that you'll realize the necessity of the ones that was closed behind you. I have no idea what closed doors you're living with. For all I know, you're living with the self-loathing or blame, or even worse, you're blaming someone else because of the door that was closed. And because I don't know the door that's been closed, I don't know what you're going through. I speak directly to all you when I say this. Let it be. Let the oak fall. Let the acorn scatter. God moves in mysterious ways. His wonders to perform. He plants his footsteps on the sea, and he rides upon the storm. Deep and unfathomable minds of never-failing skill, he treasures up his bright design and works it in his sovereign will. Let it be. The door that was closed. Let it be. Thank you for listening. To God be the glory. Thank you again. Bye-bye.